more, let's cross to France 24's senior reporter Claire Paccalin in Jerusalem. Hi there, Claire. So can you tell us what more we know about this possible deal?
Well, certainly the words of that Qatari foreign affairs official saying that there was initial approval on the part of Hamas. That was seen in Gaza as a very positive signal. We even saw on some images of Gazans celebrating in the streets, thinking that a ceasefire could be on its way. But since then, we have been getting sources out of Hamas pouring cold water on that, really saying that this deal is still very much being studied. And of course, we don't know the exact details of what is in that deal. That is top secret. But we do know that it revolves around the release of the remaining Israeli hostages in Gaza as well, in return for the release of Palestinian prisoners and, of course, a pause in the fighting. The big questions are, how long would that pause be? It could be 4 weeks, it could be 6 weeks long, and which Palestinian prisoners would be released. In the deal that we saw late last year, when there was this hostage for prisoner exchange, most of the Palestinians who were released were teenagers and women. This time round, Hamas would really like to see higher profile prisoners release. And that, of course, is a sticking point because here in Israel, there's pressure on the government. Some Israelis coming out saying they don't want to see a deal which would mean those high-profile Palestinian prisoners are released back into the open and could pose a threat to Israeli society. Of course, you've also got the families of many of those hostages saying any deal will do. The priority of the government should be the release, the safe return of those Israelis who are still being held in Gaza.
But in the meantime, Claire, in any case, the military campaign, of course, continues. The situation on the ground suggesting that Hamas is still far from being eradicated, despite Israeli claims of progress. So what's going on the ground?
So certainly, well, yesterday we saw the Israeli Defense Minister, Yoav Gallant. He was on the ground in Khan Yunis in the south of Gaza, having an operational situation update with troops. He came out saying that progress and impressive results were being yielded and that Israeli troops would be pushing into Rafah. We understand that out of the 40,000 or so Hamas fighters, Israel believes that it has either killed or wounded half of them, so taken half of them out of operation. That presumably means that 20,000, though, are still operating. And we are now seeing in the north of Gaza, in the El Shati refugee camp, some more Hamas fighters emerging in an area that Israel had hoped to have cleared. What, of course, we know is that Israel would like to show that it has the upper hand on the ground militarily, because that would give it the upper hand in talks. Israel has always said that the reason Hamas came to the table late last year and agreed to that temporary ceasefire, and again, the reason they may agree to this deal, is if they want a bit of breathing space, if they want to regroup their fighters. And so Israel really wants to show that it has the upper hand when it comes to the military perspective. But on the ground, it's a very mixed picture. And of course, journalists are not able to get into Gaza at the moment. And so we can't see with our own eyes exactly what's happening.
Claire Paccalin in Jerusalem, thank you very much for that update.